If you're looking for a restaurant quality dessert to serve friends and family, this easy creme brulee is so dreamy. It is super simple and you only need a few ingredients. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Kelly with Suburban Soapbox, and today we are making my favorite dessert, creme brulee. It's basically just cream, like a custard that's been baked, and then you sprinkle sugar on top and you brulee it. So it's like a burnt sugar crust. If you've never had it, you're in for a real treat. And it's super easy to make with just a few ingredients. All you need to make your creme brulee is heavy cream, a lot of it, granulated sugar, egg yolks, and vanilla. You can add like a pinch of salt if you like, and once you have mastered this basic recipe for this custard, you can easily make it into like whatever flavor you like. So you can add some cocoa powder to make a chocolate creme brulee, you can add berries to the bottom and make it like fruity. There's really no limit to the flavors that you can make for creme brulee. You'll also need castor sugar. It's super fine sugar, so it's basically granulated sugar that's been like pulverized into like a really, really fine granular sugar. So much less granular than granulated sugar. It's almost powdery, but it's not powdered sugar, if that makes sense. You're also going to need a few ramekins, and it doesn't matter what size they are. The recipe that I'm making here calls for 6 ounces, but you can realistically make this even in like a little baking dish if you don't have ramekins. It'll just be more like a potluck style creme brulee that you serve at the table in your big casserole. But we are going to use just a variety of oven-safe bowls to make our creme brulee today. So to start, we're going to take our egg yolks, and I like to put them in a bigger bowl because we're going to whisk them together with half of the granulated sugar. Before we start that, we're going to heat the cream on the stovetop. So you want to heat the cream and steep it with vanilla. You can use vanilla beans if you like. They're actually very, very expensive right now. So I've recently switched to vanilla bean paste, which is like vanilla beans floating in like a syrupy, but not syrup, liquid, so to speak. It's a little less expensive. It goes much further than a $20 bottle of 2 vanilla beans. So if you do go the vanilla bean route and you scrape the seeds out once you've steeped your cream, you can use those vanilla beans to like flavor sugar or flour or whatever else. Just put it in a tin with some sugar and then you'll have vanilla sugar. So we're gonna skip the vanilla beans today. Today we're using the vanilla bean paste. So you're gonna add the vanilla bean paste to your heavy cream in the saucepan and then half of this sugar, the granulated sugar. So you want a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. You want to heat the cream to steaming. So you'll start to see steam coming off of it, and that's when you're going to turn the heat off. So I have a stainless steel bowl, and the reason I have the stainless steel bowl is because I want to be able to feel the temperature of the bowl and the eggs when I'm adding the cream to temper the eggs. Tempering the eggs just means that you're bringing them up to a warmer temperature so that when you add the egg yolks to the cream, the heavy cream, you're not basically scrambling your eggs because that's not a very good tasting creme brulee at all. So you want to do it slowly. I like to bring the temperature of my egg yolks up to not the same as the cream, but just you want to be able to feel that it's warm and not room temperature. So room temperature egg yolks work best, and I've separated them out already. So we're just gonna add them to the bowl, and I'm gonna add the remainder of the granulated sugar. And then we're going to whisk this. And you're gonna build some muscle here. So you wanna whisk this until it's light in color and kind of ribbony. So when you lift that up, it's not like drippy like that. It'll kind of be like a pale yellow ribbon. And you really have to put some muscle into it. This is not the fun part. Okay, it's getting a little lighter, and we're almost at that ribbon stage. All right, so you want it to kind of look like that. It's lighter in color, It's definitely holding together when you pull the whisk up. All right, that'll work. Now that our cream is hot enough, we're going to temper the eggs. Just take a ladle and put a little bit into the bowl with the egg yolks and whisk it constantly while you're adding it so that none of your eggs scramble. Once you have that incorporated, then do it again with another ladleful of the cream until your eggs feel like they've come up in temperature quite a bit. After that, it's about 2 or 3 ladlefuls. You're going to be able to pour the entire contents of the egg yolks back into the stock pot with the cream, making sure that you're whisking constantly the whole time, again, because you don't want to scramble those eggs. And then, while you're cooking the custard over low heat, make sure that you're stirring it constantly so that you don't have any of that cooked egg on the bottom of the pan. Just scrape it up with a rubber spatula. Make sure you get into the corners and keep stirring until it thickens. Once your custard has thickened to the point where you can actually draw a line on your spatula in the custard mixture and it stays, then you're ready to take it off the heat. So we're going to bake our creme brulee in the oven in a water bath, a bain-marie, which is a water bath. And I like to put it in a deep-sided baking sheet or a baking pan. And I just arrange all of my ramekins in the pan. So we're gonna take our ladle and just fill our ramekins. You can see it's like so creamy and smooth. And that's one. I popped everything in the oven. You're baking your creme brulee for about 30 minutes at a 300-degree oven, so it's really low. And the bain-marie, the water bath, actually helps distribute the heat more evenly so you don't have any hot spots, and that eliminates the risk of having scrambled eggs on the bottom of your ramekin. So don't skip the water bath part, or else you could risk like burning the bottom of your creme brulee. It will ruin the flavor for the whole thing. You won't just have scrambled eggs on the bottom. So make sure you don't skip that step. And one other tip, when you pour the water in, I suggest that you do as we did here and pour the water in the pan as it's in the oven. And be careful that you don't get any water splashing into the custard mixture because it will totally ruin your creme brulee. It will not set up. Once your creme brulee is room temperature, then you can transfer it to the refrigerator to chill for 4 hours or even overnight. This is a great make-ahead dessert. Right before serving is when you're going to do the fun part. So you take the superfine sugar, and if you have a kitchen torch, this really works much more easily if you have a kitchen torch. If not, you can definitely put them on a baking sheet and throw it under the broiler. So you want to cover your custard evenly with sugar. And again, you can do this with granulated sugar if you can't find superfine, but I highly suggest trying to find the superfine sugar. So kitchen torch is the way to go if you can find them. You can get them at any kitchen supply store. A lot of grocery stores carry them now too. And just hit it until it starts to caramelize. And that is it. Once it settles down, it'll start to create a nice crust when it cools to room temperature, and that's the addicting part. At this point, you can garnish your creme brulee with whatever you want, or you can just like top it with whipped cream, or do nothing. It is fantastic just as it is. But I'm just gonna add a few fresh berries, just to kind of give it some color. I like the sweetness with the contrast of the tartness from some of the berries. You know, winter berries are kind of like, This just helps make them taste even better. This is my favorite part. Breaking through that crust. It's so creamy with the contrast of the crunch from the top. It's perfectly custardy without tasting like overly eggy. And the hint of vanilla is just like perfect. So easy to make. And again, a great make-ahead dessert for any occasion. If you like this recipe, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. For more easy recipes, visit thesuburbansoapbox.com. Thanks again.